Welcome to video 41 of Exposing the Beast System. Right now, I need you to forget everything that you have ever learned in this world and start fresh. Start fresh. You know, it's a wonderful thing to be awake. And when I say that I'm awake, it means that I have an open mind to different scenarios concerning a situation. And that's simply being awake. You know, if you can come to an understanding about some of the common deceptions, then you're awake. But if you have a closed mind and you can't see any different scenario to a situation other than the one that's presented to you on TV or through a Hollywood movie, then you are dead asleep. I know that statement doesn't apply to the majority of my subscribers, which is wonderful, by the way. You know, my subscribers, since I started doing these beast videos, has jumped 120%. My subscribers have jumped 120%. I noticed that. That's awesome. You know, that's killer. That means the world to me. That means that my message is getting out. You know, you people are the ones that are supposed to see this. No one else. No one else. That's how the system works. Okay, now before in video 40 we were talking about the physical aspects of 9/11. The physical aspects. The fact that a plane just can't disappear into a building, you know, just doesn't happen. Even, I don't care how big the explosion is, it just doesn't happen. You know, and that basically when you saw a fake wrecked Suburban down the street and you saw a Ford Pinto motor sitting a block away, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And, you know, that's what most people don't understand that. Most people just take that information and run. And that's not good. That's not good. Now we're going to go into the mental aspects of what happened on 9/11. Because a lot of trauma happened that day. Recently I got asked, what is MK Ultra Mind Control? Well, you need to do your own research. You need to look it up. Go do your Google search yourself. I provide links in my, comment boxes and stuff like that. I'm not trying to explain anything to anyone. I got accused lately of trying to tell someone how to think. Well, I wasn't trying to tell anyone how to think. All I was trying to do was provide them with a different perspective on maybe an event or a situation that's going on. And, that's not telling someone how to think. But yeah, just go do a Google search. Google will provide you with information. That's how you hone your eye of discernment. That's how you hone your eye of discernment. You can look at an article and tell what is the nonsense and what is actually the real meat and potatoes that they're trying to cover up and still convey at the same time. Because that's what it all is. It's all trickery and fakery. Everything. Every book that you will ever read was written by a computer. They just give these people these titles and hand them this information, a book, and say, here you go, put this in your name, jump out there, throw up your signs and symbols, and you're going to live a good life. We're going to pay you well. You're just supporting the system. That's how they do it, folks. You think Stephen King could write 100 books in his life, or however many books this fool has written? I mean, come on. You know how long it takes to write a 400-page book? I mean, it takes a long time, especially if you're starting from scratch, the way these stories are supposedly written, because I've read a lot of those books, Stephen King, Dean Koontz, all that kind of stuff. And now I understand actually how demonic and satanic that these books are. It's just all working against the Creator. It's all working against the Creator. And right now I need you to put on the armor of God. Put on the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, and the shield of faith. Okay, this is what I do. This protects me every day. This is just my best understanding of what's going on. God is a term that's handed to us. But it is a term that I use. I use that term because I don't know any other term to use to represent the Almighty Creator. So I just use their term. None of their signs, symbols, numbers, or any of that stuff mean anything to me. Nothing. Absolutely zero. I'm just aware of them. I'm just aware of the stuff. And it seems like getting people to be aware of this stuff is harder than actually dealing with the people after they're aware of the stuff. Really is. The cognitive dissonance in people is absolutely amazing. And that's how they wire our brains up. That's how they wire us up. Okay, so let's get into the physical, or I'm sorry, the emotional aspects of 9/11, because a lot of emotional trauma happened that day. They're telling you all these people died. They're showing all this distress down in the city. They're showing planes crashing into buildings. I mean, that's a lot to take in. And that's basically what's called trauma-based mind control. Because once you see that trauma, you immediately start thinking with your emotions. And then your emotions take over, and you just kind of are in a mnemonic state at that point, in an alpha state, and your brain's just going to run with the information as it comes. That's just the way we're wired, and it's the way that they wire us too. They help to wire us that way through the chemicals and through all the programming that goes on throughout our life. Okay, yeah, that 9/11 event was trauma-based mind control, ran to the letter, out of the book. And then what they got out of that was a problem, reaction, solution. So they had the problem, some fake people from Afghanistan or something, some guys in a cave crashed some planes into a building. So then we got the reaction. All the American public is all up in arms, and we have to go and we have to get the head of this person. We have to, avenge our foe. And then, so that's the reaction. So then we have the solution. The solution is that we have a bunch of new federal agencies in the United States of America off of this fake made up Osama bin Laden character. This guy is a CIA agent. Okay, he works for them. Don't get it twisted. I mean, you've seen pictures of Bush, Obama, all these people with all of his family members. Is it sinking in yet that he's one of them? He's one of them, folks. Okay. And then I see this guy, this supposed Navy SEAL. He comes on TV every now and then, the guy that shot Osama bin Laden. What a joke. What a joke. But when you understand what's really going on here, it's all just theater. It's all theater. And they are the supporting players in this whole act, this whole show. And they get fortune and fame. They get pushed on the masses. They get to sit in front of the one-eyed God, the camera, and they get to do their thing. They get to throw up their little homage signs, and then they get well paid. These people do get well paid. But, is the price of your soul worth some shit here on earth? I don't think so. There's nothing on this earth worth my soul. Nothing. 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 Couldn't give me anything and say, here you go. Couldn't even give me the whole earth. Wouldn't take it. Tell you, shove it. It's not worth it. There's nothing here worth my soul. Nothing. So after we got the problem and the reaction from the public, then we got the solution with all of these federal agencies that are coming in, And when you go through an airport, all they're doing is acquiring your radar signature. In that backscatter machine, not to mention that they're hitting you with microwaves like you wouldn't believe. I mean, if you knew what exactly was going on when that little machine is going whir, 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 spinning around you, you would seriously have a problem with it if you knew exactly what was going on. Because doesn't your microwave oven make that same sound? And the same sound when you're in an MRI machine? This magnetic resonance imaging, that's what it is, folks. That's what 5G is. That's what it all is. That's how they're pushing all of this on us. 5G can map out any area in 3D using microwave technology. Any area. You just go in and the waves bounce off of each other and it gives you a map of the area. And the waves bounce off of anything else in that area. So if you are in that area, and you are getting hit with microwaves all the time. You just don't know it. You can't see the microwaves that are boiling that water in your microwave either, but guess what? The water's still boiling in the microwave. There's no wires attached to that water. There's nothing attached to it but air. And they're shooting those microwaves through the air. The same thing that is happening with all of those towers. All of those towers. It all works together, and it's all part of the beast system. Yeah, the federal government, they stage these events just to make themselves seem relevant in your life. Like now the federal government has to go after these people, and they didn't even get the people. They didn't even get him. 10 years later, some guy crept up on him in a mansion, supposedly, and killed him with a sniper's bullet. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But people love that drama. They eat up that drama. They eat it up. And then after that, we went in supposedly into Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction. Didn't find anything. Just blew up a country, destroyed it, killed a bunch of innocent people. They say 500,000 babies, 500,000 children. Yeah, that's what your tax dollars are responsible for, people, if you live in the United States of America. Just so you know. Just so you know. That's what your tax dollars are responsible for. And it's just not Iraq, and I mean Iran is next. They're gonna go over and start fiddling around in Iran here soon. Yeah, it's ugly. It's an ugly system that they have going. But you know, everywhere in the world we have an army base, air force base, marine base, naval base in every country. No other country has any of those bases in the United States. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. We are the world's police force. And we are a very dirty and nasty police force at that. At that. Yeah, you know, the radar mapping that they do when you go into the backscatter machine, that's how they get your radar signature. Everyone has a different radar signature. It's basically like getting your fingerprints without you even knowing it. And they can use this technology to identify you later. That's how they do it. So if you've flown on an airplane and went through a backscatter machine, they have your radar signature. If you've walked into a Walmart, they have your radar signature. Yeah, you don't see the 5G antennas in Walmart. They hide them. They hide them. They're behind walls and stuff like that. But they're in there. I've seen them. They're in there. Okay, well. Yeah, the federal agencies, the Transportation Security Administration, are a serious problem. They're a serious problem in this country. You know, people think that they're safer flying on an airplane. Actually, more harm has been done to you going through the airport and getting on that airplane and flying to wherever you're going when you walk through that backscatter machine than anything would have ever happened to you. They're committing crimes against us every day. Every day. And they use their deceivers to sell their lies to us. They use their deceivers to sell the lies to us. You know, 9/11, they pulled a lot of stuff that day behind that event. You know, they already had that Patriot Act already written up and ready to just be slammed down our throats. They call it the Patriot Act. Like it's something patriotic. That now you have to go through all this stuff just to go somewhere else. You know, it's really ridiculous. And it's only going to get a lot worse. It's only going to get a lot worse when the technology starts to take over, because it's only in the beginning stages of taking over now. Only in the beginning stages. Once all of this stuff really starts to take over, everything's going to change. Everything's going to change, and that's going to happen soon. You know, I never thought it would happen in my lifetime. I never did. But I've seen in the last 20 years, it's been on a high-speed rail. It's been on a high-speed rail. It really has. And, you know, a lot of stuff happened behind that 9/11. A lot of stuff happened behind it. It's very, very ugly. Very ugly. You know, we went in, we blew up the Museum of Baghdad. All they want to do is destroy history. So they can rewrite history how they want to rewrite history. That's their whole agenda. Whatever was out there that they wanted, they just go and take it. They don't care. They'll blow up a couple of buildings to cover for themselves as a reason to go in. You know, it's really an ugly, ugly system. But it's the one that we live in. And I'm just doing my part to expose it. I'm just one guy sitting in front of an iPhone purveying a message as I understand it. And as I understand it, you need to forget everything that you have ever learned in this world and start fresh. And start fresh. Yeah, MK Ultra Mind Control, there's so many aspects to it. There are so many aspects to it. I mean, it's got tentacles like an octopus. It just does. It's got tentacles that go out in every direction. You know, it's hypnotism, it's mnemonic programming, it's repetition programming, problem reaction solution, you know, trauma-based mind control. There's all kinds of things. The trauma-based mind control is the most effective because they get immediate results. You get immediate results. You know, and then you get into the monarch butterfly program and all that stuff where they find that a child that's been traumatized, and then as they traumatize that person as an adult, that person actually carries some kind of genetic code in with it, that it's been traumatized, and it makes them easier to traumatize and split off different personalities, because that's what they are. It's a bunch of multiple personality people that get flipped. It's really sick. It's really sick. And it's just part of the government breeding program, what they call the Illuminati breeding program. You know, none of these celebrities, those aren't their kids. They get given those kids. And then some celebrities actually fake being pregnant so they can get a kid. I mean, these people are sick. They wear that moon bump and fake a pregnancy. I mean, I've seen so many different celebrities do it. I mean, all the female celebrities, singers, pop stars, all of those, they're all men. They're all men. If you didn't see the Mag video from yesterday about Britney Spears, go watch it. It's actually pretty good. You know, Mag does a good job of breaking down those trannies. You know, Mag says he's going to bring down Hollywood. The video I put up yesterday, you know, about the Time 100. You know, like I said, I'm going to help Mag any way I can to expose the transgendered agenda that they're pushing on people, and then eventually the transhuman agenda is what it is. That's what their plan is. Yeah, I'm gonna help Mag any way I can to do that, but you know, it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle, just trying to get someone to realize that this person that they might have had fond feelings for or something is the same sex as them. It's difficult, you know, it's difficult. It's probably the most difficult thing, but once you get it figured out about the trannies, then it makes all of it a lot easier to understand that they're all just satanic trannies, and they're all just casting spells on you and lying to you. It's as simple as that. That's what they're doing. So, you know, you need to forget everything you've ever learned in this world and start fresh. Start fresh. Start with a new perspective. It doesn't have to be my perspective. Make it your own perspective. I just give people other avenues to go down. I try to give them my perspective from my understanding. You know, I've been conditioned just the way everyone else has. The conditioning is a lot less than in me than it is in most people, though. I broke the black magic spell a long time ago. And I suggest you come to an understanding about the black magic spell that you're under too, and break it. Because you have to want to break the black magic spell. The spell just doesn't go away. You have to want to break the black magic spell. So you use the system against itself to break the black magic spell. That's what I do. I use this system against itself, and more is revealed to me every day. More is revealed to me every day. And that's the beautiful thing about being awake, because I'm open to different avenues of what's really going on here. Well, this is going to be the end of video 41 for the day. I hope y'all have a blessed week. I'll see you soon.